everybody. This is Darren Redmond for Redmond's Wrap-Up, brought to you by FHT Sports for Monday, May 7th, 2018. By now, you probably know. Well, you probably knew this going in. You probably knew this like when the NBA season started. The truth is, Toronto Raptors cannot beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. They never could. And right now, it looks like there's nothing that can show me that they ever can. Cleveland beats them mentally before they even get out on the court. That heartbreaking loss for the Toronto Raptor fans, that beautiful fadeaway off the backboard and in by LeBron James. You know, this guy, people get into the whole conversation about the GOAT, right? But I'm old enough to remember when someone was called the GOAT, it was not a good thing. Bill Buckner was the GOAT for letting the ball go between his legs. I know it's an acronym for greatest of all time. That's not a conversation I'm ready to have right now, but we'll talk about it. I'd like to hear your comments down below, as always, whether or not you think LeBron is the greatest of all time. I have my opinions on it. The guy's a great player. There were people, these talking heads, and quite frankly, I guess I'm a talking head now too as well, who'd say, well, he went to Miami to get himself a championship. Well, he came back to Cleveland and got a championship there as well. He has more losses in championships than he does wins, but that's a different story. Tonight, we saw a team, the Toronto Raptors. You put this game on and you watch and you're like, this team didn't even show up. This team just went through the motions. They were beat before they ever left the locker room. Shameful performance by the Toronto Raptors. Thank you. Third time's a charm. It's that Brooklyn accent comes out every once in a while. Now you may say, wait a minute, Cleveland barely got by the Indiana Pacers, went 7 games. True. But you see this in so many different sports. We cover hockey, for example. The Penguins, we won't talk about what happened. You know by now what happened with them. But normally, if you're going to beat the Penguins, you got to beat them in the first round. The team just gets stronger and stronger. LeBron James, he's at that age now where that game in January, does he take it off? Doesn't take it off, but maybe he's going 3/4 speed, 80%. Come playoff time, this is money time. LeBron James single-handedly, I know it's a team game, but single-handedly just dominated the performance. They gave LeBron way too much space. In the old days, you'd be giving him a couple of hard fouls early. That's just not the game anymore. And Cleveland went on to trash Toronto, who now go home, feel good about making it to the second round of the playoffs, finishing at the top of the East seed. So they do some good things. But if this is a let's win a title team, and that's what Toronto pretends to be, Toronto needs to do a much better job in closing and finishing. I think the Celtics, who lost tonight to the Philadelphia 76ers, and people are saying, well, the moment got too big for the Sixers. They were down 3-0. Well, hey, look, they held court at home. They saved some face. I wouldn't be surprised if they win the next game as well, but they're not winning the series. The Celtics will win this series, and it'll create a very interesting, hated matchup between the Celtics and Cleveland. That is much-watched television. I'm sure you'll agree. Houston is supposed to do what they're going to do, and we all know what's going on with the Golden State Warriors. But right now, when you look at Cleveland, and they're not the team that they used to be. We know this. But Toronto, this was their year because Cleveland was vulnerable, and they just couldn't do it. They laid down. They just said, you know what, Cleveland, roll over us. We're the Raptors, and you're supposed to beat us, and you have. And I mean that with no hate. I'm a Knicks fan. The Knicks had a great team in the mid-'90s, but they couldn't beat the Bulls when they had Michael Jordan. The one time that they did beat the Bulls was without Michael Jordan. So, to the Raptors, good season, but it's not going to be a very good season until you can beat Cleveland and beat LeBron James. Now, who knows what LeBron will be next year? We're going to follow that closely. But Toronto, you're going through the motions until you beat Cleveland. The Red Sox truly couldn't win a world title until they beat the Yankees. And then they went and did it again. They were down 0-3, they didn't die. They came back, won 4 straight against the Yankees. And that's not Yankee hate, that's just fact, right? We know this. Big Papi stood up and said, not this year. But with Toronto, they show up and they're intimidated. They're shaking in the boots. It's like, and the home of the... And they're shaking. The national anthem's not even over. So hopefully, Toronto will learn from this. LeBron James is just a stud out there. And if he has to do it by himself, he will. Very excited to see what happens in the next round. I think they'll be playing the Celtics. I said he. Well, let's be honest. It's LeBron and a bunch of guys who wear Cleveland uniforms. So that's Redmond's wrap up for today. Want to know what you think about the series 4-0 whitewashing of Toronto by Cleveland? Please subscribe to our social media sites. We love hearing from you. Comment and share. This is Darren Redmond for Redmond's Wrap Up. Take care.